Hello team, and thank you so much for sharing all of your standards that you're currently holding for yourself and where you want to see yourself step up. I think it was so amazing to read because first of all is the vulnerability that we all have with each other, okay? When we're able to be vulnerable and when we're able to speak our absolute truth on our current situation, our truth, we are able to reach out for help, support, and also awareness for ourselves. I think that's my biggest thing is having a really strong awareness of myself on when I'm not holding the same standard as I used to in my own health, in my career, in my business, in my relationships, in my partnerships. It's just really having that understanding and awareness that, you know what, right now I am not at that standard I'd like to be. And I think I believe number one rule is to be surrounded by people who are also like-minded, who are going to help us reach to higher goals in our lives. We can 100% sit in our comfort zone and we can accept what's happening around us, and we can just sit down, watch Netflix, binge watch it, eat lots of unbeneficial foods for ourselves. Trust me, there's been a billion times where I would rather put the cover over my head in the morning and just not face the world. There have been a billion times where I've wanted to do that in the last 6 months. But every time I've shown up, every time I've lifted my standard, every time I expect more from myself, it has served me so much greater. It has given me opportunities. It's given me lessons. It's given me growth. Okay, I think the worst thing that can happen out of this pandemic is that we come out of it unchanged. We come out of it with no real growth at all. And unless we're willing to challenge ourselves now and overcome these obstacles that we're facing, we're not going to be able to grow from it. And when we were hit with that, that first week of that pandemic, and we were all forced to completely surrender to what was happening, that was when we were faced with these new challenges that we never saw coming. And like I said, the biggest thing I believe right now that can be the worst thing that can happen is that we come out of this with no growth, no change at all. And I'm just so proud of every single one of you because you have committed yourselves to doing some type of exercise and training. You have committed yourselves to your bodies, and our health is our vehicle to absolutely everything. This pandemic has taught us that our health is absolutely so crucial right now. It always has been. It always should have been number one, but we've neglected it. We've forgotten about it. We've let everything else take over our health and we've put it completely last. And this pandemic's gone. Right now, the biggest thing we need to care for is ourselves. We need to care for our health. We need to care for our bodies. This is the vehicle. This is the absolute vehicle to all of life. When we have a healthy body, we have a healthy mind. When we have a healthy body, it trickles down into and when we have a healthy body and mind, it trickles down to everything in life. It trickles down to your kids, whether you like it or not. They notice, when they notice health, they notice how you're feeling, they notice all of that. It trickles down to our careers. It trickles down to how we show up in our relationship. It trickles down to how we show up in a day-to-day life. And most importantly, it trickles down to how you show up for yourself. Are you running your current vehicle on empty? I was hit with this sudden truth on Sunday when I was doing a healing session with one of my healing teachers. And she said to me that I was really beating myself up because I was like, I've just run out of all this. I've always had so much empathy and compassion and really had a lot of time for that and kindness. And I just haven't felt myself, and I haven't felt like I've been able to give that. I couldn't even be that person for Mitch. You know, a couple of weeks ago, he sadly lost his grandfather, which I know he dearly loved. And you know, I love as well, and he was at our wedding, and it was just beautiful that he was able to make it that far. And 2 weeks ago he passed away, and I couldn't even give empathy or compassion to Mitch. And in that moment on Sunday, when I was hit with this truth that, Vicky, when you're on empty, and you're trying to give on empty, and you've got nothing left, even when you want to, you're not going to be able to. She goes, you need to fill your cup up, and with the overflow, and not until that cup is overflowing are you able to give more love to others. But right now you're not giving any love to yourself. And that was a huge sort of shock for me. And when we get these realizations, it's like, you know, sometimes my ego's like, no, I've been giving love to myself. I've been doing that. No, that's not the real reason. But I was hit with this truth that I hadn't been giving myself the love that I needed to give myself. So I was unable to be that person for Mitch in that circumstance. I've unable to be that person that my team needed me to be. You know, I've people are probably watching this and like, what do you mean you've shown up, you know, on your virtual training, and like I've ran myself into empty, and it's time to start, you know, filling my cup up, putting love back into that cup, fill it up. Everyone else will benefit when you fill your own cup with the love and respect that you can give yourself, not only with our health and our physical health, but with our mental health as well. And training and exercising and nourishing foods, and, you know, if you can, get enough sleep and water, and getting into rituals and routines during this time is what's going to fill your cup up. You know, I saw myself going down that rabbit hole of watching, you know, I mean, we don't watch that much shows, but not long ago, maybe 2 months ago, we got internet at home, which has been really beneficial in the time like this, but we also got Netflix, and I started watching, you know, that heist show, and I got into a really, like, we both did, and it, you know, people are like, well, it's a couple of nights a week, which it was literally just a couple of nights a week, but it would be us, you know, staying awake until 10:30 at night. And no, that's not very late for some people, but we're usually in bed by 8:30, and I just got couldn't sleep then. I had, you know, not only, you know, from all my pregnancy hormones, but also just listening, just replaying like this stupid Netflix series in my head, and it was not benefiting me. So I really got out of routine with my sleep, and I got really out of routine with, you know, getting up and moving and that sort of stuff. So fill your cup up first. Give yourself love. Give yourself the nourishing foods. You guys deserve it, all right? And you 100% need to believe that you deserve it, because when we lift our standards, when we lift the standards that we hold for ourselves, we lift everyone else up with us, all right? Have a lovely Wednesday, and thank you all for joining me. And Christina, I hope you notice I washed my hair. See, I'm lifting my standards with my hair. Usually it's just a mess, but spent a bit of last night